Hello, people of the internet. This is the Emotiva XPS 1 Gen 2 Phono Preamp. As you can see, it's awfully small relative to, say, this guy. This is the Project 2 Box S, and this is significantly smaller. This you put on a shelf, and you have this available to you all the time. This you connect your stuff, hide it behind your system, and you never have to look at it again. There's no on-off. It is on all the time. It has moving magnet and moving coil, as you can see up here. Now it's moving coil, and it has loading options for moving coil of 1K, 470 ohm, 100 ohm, and 47 ohm. This is your input. This is your output. There's your power right there. And you just leave it plugged in all the time. Now, I used to have the Gen 1 version of this, and it looked kind of identical. In my head, it was bigger than this. It was a little bit longer and a little bit wider, but I might be inventing that in my head. They also had silver, where these are black on the ends. I think it was silver. So this replaced that at some point between me getting rid of the original one and now, I guess. I believe Emotiva is actually getting rid of this. I think they're going to be revamping it, and it looks like, from what I remember, the price on this was $200, and right now on their webpage it is $121 with free shipping, which is relatively cheap for a moving magnet, moving coil phono preamp. So, is it any good? Well, I've tried this on my two systems, the moving coil and the moving magnet. The moving magnet system is comprised of a Fluance RT 82 that has a Ortofon OM10, I believe that's the name of the cartridge. Might be having a brain fart there. I think that's right. Into an Emotiva TA100, which has also been replaced with, I think I don't know. I don't want to speculate there. It's something. TA1, maybe? I don't know. Maybe I'll pop that up over here and see what it actually is. So the TA100 has a built-in Phono Preamp, and then that goes into Cambridge Audio Minx XL speakers. It's my son's system. It sounds pretty good for what it is. One of my questions was, is this the same preamp that's built in? So I was very interested to hear if this would sound better or the same as the one that's built in. The built-in one has moving magnet and moving coil options. It doesn't have any loading options. I reached out to Emotiva about the gain settings, specifically for the moving coil, and that they said was only 55 dB, which isn't great for any low moving coil cartridges. It'll work for some, and then the loading is set at 100. So this obviously has more. I believe the moving coil is 660 dB of gain, and then you have the 4 loading options for moving coil. So for moving magnet on that system, this is absolutely better than the built-in one. In terms of sound, I think it has the Emotiva house sound, which I would say is accentuated bass, maybe rolled off mids, and a little bit of increased highs. So I feel like all of the products that I've tried seem to have that sound. The bass might be a little bit much for you if you're not a real bass head. It might be great if your system is otherwise kind of lean and you're missing some bass, but this sounds good. One of the interesting things about this is that as I've used this, at first I thought the highs were kind of strident and a little suboptimal in terms of the highs. But as I used this, it seemed to kind of mellow out and kind of smooth out, and I don't find that same issue with the highs anymore. I'm not one who necessarily believes that electronic components need to break in, but maybe after that I might change my opinion on that, because there was definitely a difference. So then I also tried this on my moving coil system, which is a VPI Scout turntable plugged into a Denon DL301MKII low output moving coil cartridge into, normally it's plugged into a Hagerman Bugle 2, which I have right here. I can show you that. That's this thing. That's then plugged into the Nobsound preamp, the tube preamp, which I did a review of. Go check that out if you're in the market for a tube preamp. It's worth checking out, I think. Into the Schiit Vidar, into, what is it into? KEF R300 speakers. And so I tried the settings at 100. The Denon manual says it has to have over 100, so 100 is a decent place to start. It sounds okay. I found that it sounded the best at 470 ohm, which you can see that's where the dip switches are set to currently. It sounds pretty good. It has similar sound as the moving magnet, where it has accentuated bass, a little bit of mid roll off, and then a little bit of highs that are accentuated. For $121, this is pretty fantastic. I'm kind of curious to see what they come up with after this, because this is, I think, the best bang for your buck moving magnet, moving coil phono preamp that's out there right now. If you have a system where you could actually tweak the EQ, I think this is a no-brainer. If your system already sounds a little warm, a little too full, this probably is going to push it over, and it might be a little bit too bassy for you. So that would be my only caveat in terms of buying this. But for $121 shipped, and then if you live in a state like I do, you might have to pay tax on it. And if you can get over the fact that it's not something cool that's going to sit out and look cool and impress your friends, this isn't going to impress no one, pick it up. Not paid by Emotiva. So there's that, in case you were wondering. All right. There are more Phono Preamp reviews on this channel. Go check those out if you want some other options. Thanks.